with me, like when I say, like something, it'll be like one digit off, like but it's a digit that's not significant. Like, obviously in a 5-figure number, the first digit is very significant, the last one is not. And I always hate when people like will try to use an insignificant detail to try to trash something, and you're like, but that has nothing to do with what we're even talking about. But I guess since I was one number off, that trashes my whole point. Forget the rest of it. Anyways, what David Blatt was talking about had nothing to do with where people went with it. It's not like, do you really think, okay, I get it that some people think he's this clueless European coach who's just waiting to get fired and doesn't know a thing about basketball, but do you think he's that stupid that he looked in the media and said, Kevin Love's not that good, man? Come on, seriously, because that's where people went with it. Like David Blatt looked at the camera and said, hold tight. Tell me you didn't just call Kevin Love a max player. Kevin Love, he's no max player. Come on, guys. But that's where some people went with that. And the messed up thing is, instead of that 5 or 10 minutes that David Blatt needs to spend figuring out why his team's not playing for him and why they've lost 5 in a row and did not even try over the weekend, should have been spent there instead of answering that dumb, incredibly stupid question and narrative that people went with it. To me, there's a difference. Now, you want to question guys' effort. You want to talk about the way LeBron was attacking things earlier in the season. Those are legitimate things that you have questions about. This was, come on, man. Did you really think that's what he meant? You know what? You know where that came from? People that didn't even actually hear it. They just saw 5 words on a piece of paper. And that's what happens when you isolate 5 words out of a statement and then take it. Anything can be taken out of context. But regardless, he's having to talk about it. I just had to talk about it. So stupid. That focus needs to be on why this team isn't winning basketball games. And it's not just because LeBron James is not on the basketball court. You can tell me they're 1-8 without him. I can tell you that they're only a handful of games over 500 with him. That being said, the sooner he gets back, the process begins to rebuild some chemistry here and get this team working together and get themselves some things cooking for themselves in the second half. I definitely think, as I said after the trades, this team is constructed better than they were before they made these trades. Absolutely. And they'll be a better team. They're still not going to win a championship. They're still not at that level at all. But they're a better team. They fit a little bit better. That's be relative. They fit a little bit better. I'm telling you, man, there's cats that hit me up and go, J-Rock, just wait. Once LeBron gets back and the Cavs are on a 10-game winning streak, everybody will be happy again. Okay, well, let's just go win 1 and then 2. Let me know when we get to 10. Start with Phoenix tonight. Cavaliers, assuming that they have LeBron James back, would be their closest to full strength since they had LeBron go out, Varejao go out, Marion as well. I believe Marion's expected to play tonight after he sat out one more game the other day. He should play no matter what, although that's also a game-time decision. But if those two play tonight, then you'll just be missing Shumpert, who will join you in a week or two, from what will be the full group of what you're going to have going forward here. Hey, look, man, I don't even want to talk about points, rebounds. You can tell me about double-doubles by Kevin Love and Mozgov the other day. I don't care. They got blown out of the building against a very subpar Sacramento team. The Cavaliers are at 500 on the season, and they're facing a Suns team that's a hair above 500. They're 22-18. Cavaliers 19-19. And the Suns play an up-and-down style of ball. They definitely... this game is going to fall, I think, right into with the kind of game that the lazy side of the Cavaliers like to play, because it's a team that'll just go up and down the court. Nobody wants to play any defense, go back and forth. Phoenix is that's a David Griffin type team over there. They score $107, they give up $105. Like I said, they don't play a lick of defense either, so it could turn into a track meet for both teams, and that's what I expect to see happen. Will it turn out on the winning side for the Cavs? I don't know. Cavs just 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 5 in a row. Phoenix struggling a bit themselves. They're coming into this game 2 losses in a row after splitting their last road trip there. However, against the East, Phoenix has won 6 straight, 12 of their last 18, and they're also on a 3-game home winning streak before they went on that road trip. So Phoenix is happy to get back home, and the Cavaliers hopefully happy and hopefully getting back LeBron James tonight that'll go a long way to hopefully putting this team back in the right track. If he doesn't play tonight, I could just see the reaction that I'm going to get up in arms. But let's see what happens with that here as the Cavaliers say game time decision. We'll see. Either way, this team has no excuse for playing the way they did the other day, and no matter who's on the doggone floor for them tonight, they better get out there and play harder. Vashon in the chat room talking about Mozgov. I don't know if you heard. I was mentioning it when we talked about it, that you can say size and rim protector are two different things. I laughed at yesterday. I said rim protector when DeMarcus Cousins misses a jumper at the elbow and Mozgov's directly under the hoop, and Rudy Gay went up one-handed and put that ball down in his face, knocked Mozgov back about 18 inches or so. I said, yeah, there's your rim protector. It gives you a big guy in the paint. It's going to help. As I said, Cavaliers are better constructed than they were before they made the trades. That does not address the elephant in the room that they were poorly constructed from the beginning. So you still have a lot of, it's the fit of the pieces, getting them together, and they don't have the right fit, but they have a better fit than they did. And getting LeBron James back will definitely help them with that fit here tonight. We'll see. Suns, Cavaliers, and by the way, I saw Charles in the chat room say, good luck staying up. Actually, it's not the latest of the late-night Cavs ball tonight because Phoenix is a time zone ahead of the West Coast, so you've actually got a 9 p.m. tip-off tonight. Probably, 11:30 wrap up. So not the latest night here. So too late. You have to stay up. Cavaliers and Suns, 9 p.m. Eastern time tip off from U.S. Airways Arena in Phoenix. And let's see what the Cavs do tonight. Couple of things I wanted to talk about here as we do the wraparound here for the end of the day. Speaking of NBA real quick, did you guys see Kevin Garnett getting into it with Dwight Howard? Headbutt, the slap, the ball thrown, the ejection. Man, getting a little chippy there. KG, he still got a little bit of buck up in him, man. And Dwight Howard, and it was an interesting scene. I don't know if I posted it, but I'll post it on our Facebook pages if I didn't. Then next thing you know, Garnett's getting held back, and he's ready to go. Dwight Howard, KG, getting at it, and Dwight Howard tried to take the high road. He said, "I'll do my damage later when it's time in the playoffs, man," because KG was going for his manhood there, man, and. Anyways, LeBron knows about that manhood, and KG, they don't like each other very much either. But interesting little clip if you guys saw that, man. I got a little hot and heated in that game there. All right, guys, couple of other things wrapping up the show today. Couple of Ohio State notes. Buckeyes, of course, as you know. Maybe you didn't know. If you didn't know, they're the national champions. Besides that, I got a little scared when I saw the Urban Meyer promised tattoo headline because, we don't have the best luck with the whole Buckeyes and the tattoos. And I said, oh, man, are we really going down that road? But did you guys see Jeff Herman? He told USA Today that Coach Meyer apparently told the locker room that if they beat Alabama and then went on to beat Oregon or whoever they played in the championship, he'd get a tattoo. So apparently Urban Meyer has guys usually commit to him. He's committed himself to getting a tattoo in commemoration of this championship here. Just pay for it. Just make sure you pay for it up front. Use a credit card or a check. Make sure you take a photo of the payment and stay away from Buckeye tattoo issues, Coach. We got a dynasty coming here. I'd prefer not to see us have to give it all back over a unpaid for block O on the back of your calf or whatnot. But anyways, Urban Meyer getting tatted up, and some Southern Ohio people are getting hooked up thanks to the Buckeyes. We hear about this all the time. I'm sure there'll be one coming up for the Super Bowl here, but Ashley Furniture down in Southern Ohio. They ran a promotion through their chain of 15 stores in Southern Ohio and Northern Kentucky. From December 17th until New Year's Day, anybody who spent more than $2,000 on furniture if the Ohio State Buckeyes won the national championship by 7 or more points, they would get their entire bill refunded and paid for. You guys hear about these kind of promotions all the time. Well, with the 22-point Ohio State victory, that indeed cashed itself in. Ashley Furniture, their series of stores, had over 500, nearly 600 customers who have qualified to get refunds. The total cost will be over $1.5 million of free furniture given away. Now, we've talked about this before. There's an insurance policy that you get that pays that and all of that. And people can choose to get a cash rebate for their original amount, or, this is pretty smart, 110% on a store gift card. Hey, you may be able to convince some of those people to keep that money right in your store. But anyways, $1.5 million. The insurance is paying for most of it. They had to underwrite it. But other than that, that's all it cost them. A whole lot of free furniture. And it's great publicity. Hell, you think about how many shows just like me today around the country. Probably hundreds of them are mentioning that in their discussion when you start looking for off-the-beaten trail things to talk about for the national championship game, those other angle stories. There's one right there. And then 110%, that's actually the first time that I've heard of that. That's a good way to keep the money in the store. Instead of just giving people the free merch, you get them to spend that money right back in on something else, give them the little 10% bonus. But there you go, man. I'll tell you, man, that's a risk. You got to give those people credit. That's a risk because, obviously some of those cats were going to spend that money anyway. Some of them were like, you know what? I'm going to gamble on the Buckeyes, and the Buckeyes paid them off. There you go. Cool little story. Speaking of cool stories, I want to wrap the show up with this. We talked about Rob Konrad last week, and at first, the story, he goes off the side of his fishing boat at night outside in the water, southern Florida, 9 hours. We talked about, I think it was Friday when that story first broke. Over the weekend, it really started to get out there. Man, Rob Konrad sat down with the media. I think it was over the weekend. No, it was yesterday, actually. And the story becomes way more amazing than what we talked about. I mean, initially it was talked about 9 hours or 9 miles swim and in the cold at night. Well, when you hear him tell the story and you can see the emotion just pouring out of him as he explains it, nearly 16 hours was his overnight ordeal. What had happened, because this was one of our questions when we were talking about it, was how did he get away from the boat where he couldn't just get back on his boat? He had his boat on autopilot, so when he went over the overboard on the boat kept moving without him, and so the boat was moving at a quicker pace than he could catch up. He tried to catch up to his boat. Next thing he knows, it's taken off without him. He's over 9 miles from shore, but he ended up having to cover 27 miles. 27 miles in the water because of the direction that he went. So when his boat kept going without him, he finds himself about in the middle of the water here by himself with a long trip to go. And he said as he's going, he's coming across sharks in the water. He's being stung by jellyfish as he's moving, trying to keep himself going. And, some of the different details. Some of the, if you've got kids, you can definitely feel a tug in your heartstrings as he talks about what kept him going. His family kept him moving. And he told twice. It's like you've seen... Castaway, the Tom Hanks movie, where he almost gets rescued. Twice Konrad almost got rescued. He said one point during his 27-mile voyage here as he's swimming, a fishing boat goes past him, got as close as 50 yards away, but he couldn't get him to hear him from the water, and they kept going. Man, that's got to be a kick in the gut there. Then during the search, the Coast Guard helicopter was over top of him, and he said they put the lights right on him, still didn't see him, and kept going. And he thought about giving up right there because now he's thinking there's absolutely no way that anybody's going to save me. He knew that his exact words, he knew I was completely on my own at that point there. He's getting stung by jellyfish. There's sharks circling around. That is as harrowing as it can get. He finally got himself up to the shore, reached land. Paramedics came and got him. They found his boat. miles away as it had taken off on its own, and his boat was found. How ironic is this? His boat was found in an area known as Dead Man's Reef. I mean, that's some crazy irony. And he turned around and headed the opposite